Insights with Terri Coots, a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Coots. Here's Terri.
Hi, this is Terri, and you're listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Thanks for joining me to explore together September the 21st through the 28th, 2025. We still have some Virgo energy cruising around here. It will be turning into Libra on the 23rd, but we still have time to take that energy that Virgo leaves us to organize, to get things in order, to see what would be the best approach and how can we do the most concise way of doing it. So it's an energy that allows us to organize this and put ourselves in maybe a better position, a more organized position. And, when we don't have all that mess floating around, sometimes it feels a little bit better. And then that's going to change to Libra on the 23rd. And that will give us an opportunity to really look at our relationships, our partnerships, how we deal with people, how we want to deal with people. It'll give us an opportunity to look at it with harmony. And Mercury, the planet of the mind, how we think, how we communicate, that is going to be in Libra too. So that's going to really push that together. Good time to entertain, maybe fix up your house a little if you feel it needs updating, or make it a little bit more cozy for people to come and visit. Get that porch all nice and cozy for people to come and sit on your porch. And Venus, the planet of love and beauty, that is in Virgo. Now, the challenge with that is that Virgo is picky and fussy. And so when we have picky fussy in a energy field that is meant for human attachments and attraction, we can get a little picky in our relationships. So just be careful. Watch that we don't focus on just maybe finding the fault, instead of the good stuff. And we have to be realistic. You don't want to just focus on good if the good isn't true. We want to be authentic. But given that, we don't want to go down that rabbit hole of focusing on what we cannot stand. So just really try for balance with that too. And then Mars, the planet of our drive and our passion, that's in Scorpio, which can really allow us to have an opportunity to develop that psychic ability to work at what we know, not necessarily what's logical, but what do we know in our heart? What is a feeling, an intuition, a sense of? How does that feel to you? And so if you're interested in developing that part of you, this is a great time to do it. And we have a new moon on the 21st. So that moon is that energy, new behaviors, new approaches, new ways of thinking. And it opens up a whole world for us if we're willing to look at opening up our lives and our thoughts. Now, on that premise, I want to throw a couple of thoughts that I can't prove what I'm about to tell you, but working in a realm that isn't necessarily as scientific at this point as maybe some people would like. It's more intuition, more a sense of. I'm just going to offer a paradigm that may be different to what you're used to thinking. I'm not saying that it's absolute. I'm just offering you an opportunity to maybe think a little bit differently. Now, there's a strong energy field that allows for nonverbal communication. Now, I have mentioned before the telepathy tapes, which is an amazing podcast with some really good ideas, and they've done that as scientifically as humanly possible. I've experienced nonverbal communication on, I can't even tell you how many occasions. It can be people to people, transference of thought. I will be thinking of somebody and they call me, vice versa. I have somebody on my mind all day and they text me, haven't talked to them in how many years, and there they are. Actually, there's a lot to do with animals too. There's I live in an animal world. My life involves mostly animals most of the time. And that, I can't say it's a quiet world. It's not. But there are thoughts that are presented by animals to me and me back to them. It's a different type of communication. There can be body language in it as well, to a large degree. But there's also nonverbal communication, which means you just know. I will have the dog look at me, and I'm sure that you've experienced this as well, and you know the dog is thirsty. So all of a sudden you think, I wonder if he's thirsty. You go check the bowl, it's empty. Did you just think it, or did the dog help you think it? Well, I guess that's going to be up to you. And it's like any muscle, anything that we do and we practice, we get better at, and we handle it differently and better. And that's what this is. The more you practice this nonverbal communication, honoring it, respecting it, listening to it, the more poignant it becomes. I have a number of friends that I know when they're thinking of me because I can feel it. So I cheat to make myself look better. I'll text them, I'll call them, and tell them I was thinking about them, which I was. And then they think, oh my goodness, you're so amazing. And I don't mean it that way. But yes, I do, because it feels good to make another person happy. It feels good to have another person understand that you are thinking of them, even while they're thinking of you. I've tried to explain to quite a few that their thoughts matter, what their thoughts are, get out there in the universe and become reality. So that's an energy field that allows for nonverbal communication. I've had some friends that allow me to maybe do some transference of thought at night. So I'll go to bed and I'll think of a person. I had a person the other day, a very kind person, say, I'm going to think about you tonight when I'm going to go to sleep, and we can exchange thoughts. We haven't had a chance to discuss it with each other because our time with each other is very, very limited and rare. And who knows if we'll even remember, but I do know that when I went to sleep and when I woke up, definitely that person was on my mind. And I think I had some dreams that were kind of interesting in that too. So we can direct our dreams. With practice, we can direct our thoughts. And what we need to do now, what they're looking at, is trying to be more aware of what our thoughts are, because every thought has a vibration. And that's going to make us bigger or smaller. And it's also going to affect our world. So when we're living in fear with fearful thoughts, we are adding fear out there. Fearful thoughts, fearful vibration. Love is the same. Anger is the same. Hate is the same. Love, being the most powerful force in the universe, vibrates to a very high and powerful frequency. So when we do an act of love, a thought of love, maybe just anything that is a loving thought, we're sending that out there, and we are changing the vibration of our planet, of our earthly experience, both for ourselves and for other people. So there's a consciousness, and this consciousness affects the world, and what we think of consciously and even unconsciously will affect the world. There's something I'm sure that a lot of you are aware of called the Akash records. Those are records of every soul that has ever been and ever will be. It's the whole story of the soul. Everybody's soul. And having had the blessing of accessing that on different occasions, or I should say being allowed, yes, I would feel more comfortable with that, being allowed to access that on different occasions, I see patterns. So you can see the different growth and evolutionary process of souls. And some can take hundreds of lifetimes and still stay stuck, thinking maybe that they are evolving, but not necessarily so, because they get stuck in a loop. So we're trying to raise our level of consciousness. And the thought that I want you to maybe entertain. You don't have to accept it hook, line, and sinker, but there are songs about bringing heaven to earth. We're thinking that when we pass or transition, we have to go up to this place called heaven. But what if heaven could be on earth? What if our thoughts vibrated to a frequency, which I believe is true, and all of our good thoughts, our good deeds, our good service, our good consciousness brings earth and heaven to the same vibrational frequency. So heaven and earth become one. So maybe we're bringing earth and heaven together, and this is the new template that we're supposed to be helping create. So I'm thinking that maybe with some of the strife that's happening, some of the really difficult people we have to deal with, and really amazing people that we're allowed to deal with, we are being challenged, tasked to bring heaven to earth and elevate our vibration, our soul, our spiritual wisdom. So every moment that we choose, our thoughts, our words, our actions, that can elevate the vibrational sequence of earth, creating a experience that's more heaven-like. So it's a thought. So if we can align our consciousness and our mind with our soul's purpose, and we affect everybody out there. So when you're changing the vibration, when you're contributing to changing the vibration of the world, then we're contributing to changing everything. Think of a stone thrown in a pond. Those ripples go out. They'll go around that plant. They'll go around the stick sticking up. It affects everything. That's what this is all about. And this becomes heaven on earth. So we all, every soul, human, animal, everything, contributes in a unique way to this particular experience that we're having right now. So let's do an experiment, a conscious mirror. So if we looked at a conscious mirror, what we have to look at is to find out where we are, each individual person on a conscious level. Am I elevating? Am I staying the same? Am I stagnant? Am I getting worse? So this conscious mirror helps us to understand ourselves, a mirror to our own evolution. And what I found is that, and others have, what triggers you? Look at what triggers you. So you're looking in the mirror when you look at a person that triggers you, that drives you nuts. And then we have to look at what is the connection. What is this in this person? Is it their fear? Is it their anger? Is it their ego? What their lies? What is it that's driving us nuts, that's triggering us? That's the mirror. So for myself, I feel very strongly in the bad direction towards Trump and his mob. And I'm triggered. That's about the only person I can think of that triggers me like this. I can be more tolerant with other people. But for some reason, this one person, this one bunch, really gets my goat. And so that's a conscious mirror. I have to look at that and say, what's triggering me? Okay, looking at it, it's the lies. So why are the lies triggering me? Because I hate lies. Why do you hate lies? Well, maybe because I think I could lie, or I'm afraid that I could lie. It's a fear. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that liar. I don't want to be somebody that sells my soul for gaudy praise that's of no value, is just dust, and be so ego-driven that praise that is not real or sincere raises my ego. So in that person, that human being, I see everything that I loathe. But without judgment, what I'm saying is that everything that I loathe in that human being is something I'm afraid of that I could be. So it terrorizes me to look at him because I feel like I could be that. I could be egotistical. I could be maybe money hungry. I could be maybe lacking compassion. So he raises to the surface, him and his cronies, raise to the surface all the things that I'm afraid to be. So that's a conscious mirror. So that then gives me something to work on in myself to try to make myself a little bit better. So I can take those qualities that I loathe in those people and take them, organized with that Virgo, one-on-one. What's my biggest trigger here? What would it be that I'd want to work on? Now, I have had the opportunity to have one of Edgar Cayce's, I follow a lot of his readings, and one of his readings had suggested that when we go to sleep, we can find out where we are on our soul's meter, so to speak, because I do think there's many dimensions, and I'm trying to think who it was that has found 9 scientifically in quantum physics dimensions, and they're all different levels of consciousness and vibration. So Edgar Cayce had suggested that when we go to sleep, we ask our soul each night to show us one specific way that we could serve love more completely. And then the next day, and I've done this myself and it works like a charm for me. I'm sure it would work for many others too. The next day I have to really pay attention, like really be in an observational state of mind, a neutral observational state of mind, and pay attention. And I am offered circumstances through the day to point out how I can serve love and how I can more completely satisfy my soul. And it's amazing. So he had suggested, Cayce suggested, do that just as you're going to sleep. Offer that to your conscious mind and your unconscious mind. And then be aware what what the next day offer you in that. It's kind of interesting. It really is. Now, on that note, I would like to thank Charlie O'Brien for putting this up on all of the platforms, Amazon, YouTube, let me see, Spotify, all the ones that he puts us on. We're everywhere thanks to Charlie. And don't be afraid to listen to his the number 8 radio show. That's big 8, number 8 radio.com, and he streams all of the oldies. If you want to put yourself in a good mood, that's the way to do it. And if you would like a reading for yourself or your animals, I'd be happy to work with you with your animals and or yourself, physically and spiritually. You can text or call 519-726-6699, or you can email me at terri.coutts@gmail.com. Thanks everybody for your time. Have a wonderful week. Try some of those experiments, see how they do. I wouldn't mind comments. You can email me too with some of your hits and or misses. I'm willing to listen to it all. It's all a learning experience. Alrighty, have a wonderful week, everybody. Thanks again. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Visit Terri's website at terriworld.com. TERRI world.com.